Welcome back, Radiant Soul. I'm Luna. And if you're watching this, then know that it's not by chance. Something sacred is stirring in the sky, and it's calling to the deepest part of you. Tomorrow, the moon returns home to Cancer, her sacred sanctuary in the zodiac. This is not just a transit. It is a celestial homecoming. The moon guardian of our emotions, our dreams, and the whispers of our inner child is stepping back into the only sign where her energy flows in its purest form. And when she does, everything you've buried, every feeling you've silenced, will begin to rise like waves at high tide. Now, I must tell you, this return is not gentle. The cosmic winds are intense. The moon doesn't enter her castle to rest. She arrives to awaken. Immediately upon entering Cancer, she forms a tense square with Saturn, the stern teacher of time boundaries and karmic lessons, and another with Neptune, the weaver of dreams and illusions. These aspects will press on your heart like ancient weight. They will challenge you to feel what you've been avoiding, to surrender the masks and meet your emotional truth face to face. But there is also grace. A trine to Pluto, the alchemist of the skies, offers you a hidden gift. While Saturn holds you accountable and Neptune blurs the veil, Pluto reaches beneath the surface to help you transform what has been dormant into sacred gold. This is not just a test, it is an initiation. So if you've been feeling raw, tender, or inexplicably moved, you're not broken. You're being broken open. The moon is not here to overwhelm you, but to bring you home to yourself. And in the next few moments, it'll help you understand how to navigate this wave with grace, with power, and most of all, with love. Let's begin. Of the many tides this Cancer moon will stir, the first and perhaps most immediate is the surge of intense emotional sensitivity. I say this with love. You may feel things tomorrow in ways you haven't felt in years. Joy might arrive, not as a spark, but as a flood. Sadness may no longer be a passing shadow, but a full-bodied wave washing over your chest. You might weep at a song that never moved you before, or feel your heart ache with tenderness at the sight of something ordinary. A child's laugh, a fading photograph, the scent of something familiar. If you are an empath, an artist, or simply someone who walks this earth with an open heart, I want you to know your sensitivity is not a weakness. It is your magic. And under this moon, it will come alive in breathtaking ways. But with that heightened awareness comes another invitation, a reconnection with buried emotions you may have tucked away for safekeeping. You see, the Cancer moon doesn't just brush against your surface. She dives into the waters you've long forgotten. The old sadness you never let yourself grieve, the anger you swallowed to keep the peace, the longing you convinced yourself didn't matter. All of it may rise tomorrow, not to punish you, but to liberate you. I know this isn't always easy. It can feel like being pulled under by emotions too big to name. But what if instead of resisting, you welcome them like old friends at your door? What if these feelings were never meant to destroy you, but to remind you of who you are, beneath the noise of survival? This moon doesn't want you to pretend anymore. She wants you to remember. And I'm here to walk with you through that remembering, one breath, one tear, one sacred heartbeat at a time. As the moon settles into her watery throne in Cancer, your sensitivity will reach a new threshold, one that may feel almost otherworldly. You might notice things you usually overlook, the tremble in someone's voice, the subtle shift in a room's energy, the unspoken emotions lingering in another's eyes. It will be as if you've become a tuning fork for the emotional vibrations of the world. If someone near you is anxious, you'll feel it as if it were your own. If someone is joyful, your heart may swell without understanding why. This is the gift and the burden of emotional attunement. And I say this gently because I know how overwhelming it can be. You are not broken for feeling too much. You are simply open, and this moon will open you even more. But there's something else. A rare and potent double challenge that tomorrow will bring, and it's not for the faint of heart. The moon will square both Saturn and Neptune, and these two planets speak in very different voices. Saturn is the voice of structure, responsibility, and boundaries. It says be realistic, stay grounded, do the work. Neptune, on the other hand, is the voice of dreams, mysticism, and surrender. It whispers, let go, drift, trust the unseen. And when these voices pull at your emotional center simultaneously, it creates a deep inner tension, a tug of war between your head and your heart, your duty and your desire, your clarity and your confusion. You may feel like you're being asked to carry too much while understanding too little. You might want to retreat and rest, yet feel the pressure to push forward. Or perhaps you'll sense a calling to believe in something higher, yet doubt whether you're only chasing illusions. I've walked through this storm before, and I promise you it doesn't last forever. But it does reveal what still lives in the shadows. This square is not a punishment. It is a spiritual training ground. It is the universe asking you, can you feel deeply without losing your center? Can you trust your intuition while honoring your responsibilities? Can you walk the path of both compassion and discernment? These are not small questions, beloved, but they are the exact questions that will lead you into your next transformation. And I will be here guiding you through every turn of the tide. Now we come to the quiet force working beneath the surface, the trine between the moon and Pluto. This is no ordinary alignment, my love. Pluto is the keeper of the underworld, the transformer of hidden truths, the alchemist of our emotional DNA. And when the moon, our vessel of feeling, forms a harmonious trine with Pluto, it opens a sacred passageway, one that leads straight into the patterns you inherited often, without knowing from your lineage, your ancestors, your earliest experiences of love and fear. You may find yourself remembering things you thought you had forgotten, an old hurt, a childhood moment, a repeated dynamic that never made sense until now. It might feel like your soul is showing you a mirror that reflects not just your pain, but the source of it. These moments are not here to haunt you. They are here to free you, to show you that what once felt like fate is actually a cycle that can be broken. This is the power of Pluto's trine. It does not force transformation through chaos. It invites it through revelation. If you're willing to face what arises with tenderness and courage, you can rewrite the story that's been living in your emotional body for years, maybe even lifetimes. And while this healing stirs within, so too does another truth become undeniable, the truth of your relationships. The Cancer moon will peel back layers that politeness, fear, or habit may have hidden. It will show you with piercing clarity who truly sees you, who nourishes your spirit, and who drains your light. Some connections will deepen in the most beautiful ways. A friend might suddenly share something vulnerable that brings you closer. A partner might surprise you with compassion that melts old defenses. These are the relationships that rise with you, but not all will survive this unveiling. You may finally see the cracks you've been trying to ignore, the subtle dismissals, the emotional absence, the way someone always takes, but rarely gives. And it may hurt. I won't pretend otherwise, but I also won't pretend that staying in what stifles your soul is an act of love. The moon and Pluto are guiding you toward emotional truth. And with that truth comes the freedom to choose what relationships you wish to nourish and which ones must now return to the soil from which they came. This is not the end, sweet one. It is a turning point. Let the false fall away. Let the real be revealed. The universe does not take without giving, and what you lose in illusion, you will gain in depth and clarity, in sacred connection. Let this be your permission to grow roots only where your heart feels safe. And now we enter the realm of the unseen, the realm where dreams whisper, and intuition speaks in soft but steady pulses. Under this Cancer moon, especially with Neptune casting its veil nearby, your intuitive senses will heighten in ways you may not be fully prepared for. You might begin to just know things without logic, without reason, but with a quiet certainty that settles deep in your body. You might dream of symbols that feel like ancient messages, water homes, family members, the past. These themes may visit you in the night, not randomly, but as sacred carriers of emotional truths your waking mind may not yet be ready to face. I want you to listen, but also to discern. Not everything that feels intense is truth. That is Neptune's lesson. He can blur the line between genuine insight and wishful illusion. So ask yourself, does this intuitive hit feel calm, grounded, and clear? Or does it come with anxiety, confusion, or urgency? True intuition doesn't scream, it whispers. And it will continue whispering until you pause, until you breathe, until you finally listen. These next few days are an invitation to strengthen your relationship with your inner knowing. Journal your dreams. Meditate in stillness. Trust what gently persists and release what arrives like a storm. But my love, perhaps the most important message I can offer you is this: what's happening now is not the end. It is the beginning. This moon in Cancer is not just a moment in time. It is the prologue to a much greater cycle. On June 9th, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, abundance, and divine growth, will enter Cancer and stay there for nearly a year. That means every seed planted now, every emotional awareness that rises to the surface, every intuitive whisper you choose to honor, will be magnified, nourished, and expanded in the months to come. This is your cosmic preview. The universe is softly saying, pay attention to what you feel now, for this is the soil of your future garden. Your emotional patterns, your relationships, your dreams, all of them are showing you what will soon be amplified. And if you heed these signs, if you tend to this inner soil with care and wisdom, what blooms from it will be nothing short of life-altering. So yes, the Cancer moon is tender, and yes, she asks much of you to feel, to listen, to let go. But she is also your guide. She is showing you the path before Jupiter arrives to illuminate it. Walk it with grace, with courage, and with the deep knowing that you are not lost, you are being led home. Now, dear one, you may be wondering, how do I move through this wave without being swept away? The Cancer moon doesn't just stir emotion. She calls for ritual refuge and remembrance. And so, if you allow me, I'd like to offer you a few sacred steps. Not rigid instructions, but gentle invitations to walk this path with greater grace and intention. First, create a sanctuary, even if it's just one corner of your home. Cancer energy longs for safety, warmth, and softness. Light a candle. Place a comforting object nearby. Open a window for fresh air. Drape yourself in something soft. Let your space mirror what your heart needs most right now to feel held. The outer reflects the inner, and when you soften your space, you soften your soul. Second, protect your energy with loving boundaries. With sensitivity heightened, it's easy to absorb other people's moods, projections, and chaos. Be discerning about what and who you allow into your energetic field. You don't owe anyone your presence if it comes at the cost of your peace. Limit time and digital noise. Turn off the news if it rattles your core. And remember, it is not selfish to choose stillness over stimulation. Third, listen to your body, especially the places ruled by Cancer: the stomach, the chest, The breasts. These are the sacred containers of our unspoken feelings. A tightness in your belly might be fear. A heaviness in your chest might be grief. A flutter in your heart might be truth trying to speak. Your body never lies. Let it be your compass when your mind feels fogged. Fourth, write what rises. Journal like your soul depends on it, because sometimes it does. You don't need to make sense. Just let the pen move. What are you feeling? Where does it live in your body? What memory does it carry? What are you afraid to say out loud? Let your journal hold it. Let your truth take form. This is how healing begins, with witnessing. Fifth, say no when your spirit says no. Saturn's square reminds us that boundaries are sacred acts of self-respect. You don't need to explain your silence. You don't need to justify your distance. If your emotional reserves are low, honor that. If a conversation drains you, exit it. If something feels off, trust that. Saying no is saying yes to your soul. Sixth, release what no longer serves you. Pluto's gentle power is behind you now, and this is a perfect time for a small ritual of letting go. Write down a pattern, a belief, a name, whatever it is that keeps you tied to old pain, and burn it, or tear it up, or bury it beneath the soil. You don't need grand ceremonies. You only need intention, honesty, and breath. And finally, nurture yourself like you would a sacred child. Speak gently to the parts of you that still feel scared or lost. Feed yourself something warm. Rest more than you think you need. Take long baths. Listen to music that makes you cry. Hold your own hand. Cancer energy is not about fixing. It's about tending. And in tending, we remember we are whole not in spite of our tenderness, but because of it. You are not here to push through this moon. You are here to be moved by it. Let it carry you home to yourself, to your truth, to the softness you were never meant to outgrow. It'll be right here with you, through every wave. And so, my love, as the moon returns to her sacred home in Cancer, you too are being called home, not to a place but to a deeper part of yourself. A part that remembers what it's like to feel fully, to trust your inner knowing, to let go of the masks, and simply be. This moment is not just emotional, it is alchemical. The universe is not asking you to be perfect. She is asking you to be present to the waves, to the whispers, to the wisdom that stirs beneath your surface. Whatever rises in the coming days, whether it's clarity, grief, longing, or joy, let it rise. Let it teach you. Let it change you. Because this is not just a fleeting transit. It is the first ripple in a much larger transformation, one that will continue to unfold as Jupiter enters Cancer, as old wounds soften, and as new roots take hold in the soil of your emotional truth. Take this time to care for yourself as sacred. Honor your needs without apology. Love what is tender within you. And above all, remember your sensitivity is not a flaw. It is your compass. Thank you for walking this path with me. If this message touched something in your heart, I invite you to share your experience in the comments and to subscribe so you don't miss the next wave of guidance. I'm Luna, and I'll see you soon beneath the stars, within the stillness, and always by your side.